we can get started. So welcome everyone to the Apache APISIX community meeting. Today is the 1st of March and this is our 6th meeting. I welcome you all, and you might be noticing we are trying something new with the way we structure the meeting. So yeah, let's see how it goes today. We have a lot of topics for you today. We have Pedro who will be talking about how his experience in using APISIX, how he started out with APISIX as just a tool that he used infrequently to something that he and his team has been constantly using for the past year. He'll be sharing his experience. And we'll also have Abhishek, who is a contributor to APISIX, talking about some common issues that people have run into in the past with APISIX. We'll try to do this weekly so that people joining in have more benefit from the meeting. And of course, we have Bobber with the community updates. And we'll learn about what's new with APISIX, and he'll be talking about this new meeting structure. So with that, I will welcome everyone once again, and let's get started. So Bobber, do you want to take over?
Yes, thank you, Nandu. Hi everyone. Yeah, welcome once again. I'm super excited to see you all, at least in online. So let me share my screen and we can talk about some of the updates. I don't have much update, but I have at least something to share with you. So I think this is a correct screen. So here we go. Yes. One of the updates can be my presentations design, right? I updated the slides a little bit because the old one was out of, let's say, the structure, and I did a little bit new design. And for those who doesn't know me, I'm a developer advocate for Apache APISIX. And most of you, maybe you are reading a blog post, watching YouTube, or communicating via Slack channel with me. Today's agenda for our community call, of course, is we always start with giving a small intro. What's the actual purpose of this meeting? It is done only for new joiners, for those who is actually contributing and joining our events last 6 times already knows what is the purpose, right? And I will introduce new agenda for our meeting. We added we'll just restructure it, how it looks like nowadays. I will show you this agenda for our global community meeting. And I will also demo a new how to contribute page. Last time I also started demo, but it was under preview. But now we made it publicly available on Apache APISIX website that we will talk about. And shortly I will also introduce you Google Seasons of Docs. I think GSOC is also going to happen soon. Maybe Navenda also knows better about this. I will also give you short information about this opportunity, especially for students. And with that, here, as you can see, why we are here. Of course, we are here to bring our all community members of Apache APISIX together. Not only talk about, let's say, new features or maybe a newer experience from our external speakers. Here also we would like to introduce each other, right? It's about all the community. You know me, I know you. It's also in developers networking is quite helpful. And also sometimes we discuss product roadmaps. I think we did last year in December about I think Ming, when he showed the product roadmap for 2023, I think it was for 1 year. We have lots of improvements are going to happen around the documentation of Apache APISIX that some of the community members and our users, they are having the issues with finding out the details where it is and how to use some of the features and plugins. And this is also one of the purposes of the meeting. If you have any, how to say, suggestions on improvements, feel free to reach out to us or leave in the chat. Feedback is really, really important for our growth, right? And also we sit together with Navendo and Daniel, like think about how we can do a new agenda for our second meetup in this year. I think we decided maybe it makes sense to have these meetups like on every first Wednesday of every month. Let's say today is Wednesday, and we are happy that it's 1st of March and first day of the spring. If for all of us it is convenient timing, let's make this meeting every Wednesday next month also. For example, in April, it's gonna be 1st of April. And 1st of Wednesday, it doesn't matter which day, but first Wednesday is going to happen this meetup. And we will follow this schedule, and we will find out to bring some exciting content, exciting speech, and hopefully it will also help us to fill this content during the 1 hour. Usually we do 1 hour, like 45 minutes, usual discussions. Let's say we'll have this kind of intro from me, and some updates, news around the community, and then we'll have common issues on Slack. We just look for some of the common asked question, and we will pick only one common asked question on Slack, and someone maybe answer this question. We'll also show in this community meetup how to resolve this common issue identified by our community. And next in our agenda, for example, we are trying to share the community experience about APISIX, how community users or from the different companies, they are integrated APISIX into their project, and how they are managing their API traffic, including ingress controller on their ecosystem. That's another part of agenda. Every time we will try to invite one more speaker. If you are willing to speak, of course, we have on the event page, you can find the information how you can sign up to be speaker. We'll always welcome more speakers, and it's not about us being a speaker, but bringing some kind of useful talk or a demo, or maybe code session for our community, right? This is a short agenda and about the timing. And the next I have for you, this is a small demo of our new community page. As you can see on the screen, I record the video before this meetup. We have on the community tab, we created this how to contribute page. It was in the past also we had this page, but there was less information like what kind of benefit actually one can get out of being the member of this community or contributing to Apache APISIX. I describe it like if you are a new joiner, for example, you don't know how to get started technically with Apache APISIX, there is a hands-on lab. We delivered this, but we need to little bit update. There are step-by-step guide where you can follow this guide, and you can create some routes, upstreams, and connect this upstream and route together with plugins. You can learn everything. Like it will be a very good start for you technically with Apache APISIX API Gateway. And we also added this beautiful table, the ways of how you can contribute. You can contribute not only by creating PRs or writing some code, but also there are some other ways of contributions. Like for example, I love writing the blog post, especially nowadays writing blog posts is not difficult. And whenever you have this exciting topic, you can try to bring this topic and maybe in written format on your speech. And we have this, if you're already contributing, let's say more than 2 months, you can also apply to be and claim your certificate. I think let me kind of switch back. I think there was a recording of this certificate. So now here, sorry. This one I'm talking about. For example, you can also claim your recognition of valuable certificate from our Apache APISX PMC member. If you're contributing last 2 months, is we have more than 3 activities. You can apply by filling the following form. Just by entering your email, name and email, and just list what kind of activities you did last 2 months, and you will get this certification. It's I think the first step for you to become Apache APISX committer, right? And then after you become committer, you can apply for a PMC member. At least you should be committing like 6 months to do so. Myself also, I was contributing, I think, 1 and 3 months. I got only my Apache APISX committer, how to say, privilege only last few weeks ago. It took a lot of time for me. I was to get this certificate and committer. It is about 1 page, new page, how to contribute page. Next, the update is just GSOC. Usually Google organizes these summer seasons of talks where you can help open source projects to create some documentation, improve existing documentation. Here, Narendra, he proposed some of the ideas. If you would like to, how to say, contribute to documentation, you can follow up this page on the GitHub discussion, and you can sign up as a volunteer, like if you would like to be part of this GSOC documentation ideas. And we have also here, as you can see, some other projects you can contribute from Apache. But for this year, from APISX, we are still finalizing our list of projects for students and for mentors who would like to be mentored around these projects. We'll publish a few of them soon. You can apply as a student, or you can become a mentor. And more information, of course, you can find on our Apache APISX website or under APISX website. I think that's it from my side. There is no more updates so far. Maybe next time I will try to bring some metrics and updates and maybe integration samples, hopefully next month in April. Thank you for your attention. Thank you. Narendra, would you like to take over?
Yeah, thanks, Boba. Thanks for the updates. I think there hasn't been any questions so far, but like if you have questions, feel free to use the chat. Next up, I'll invite Pedro and his team. I'll let you guys introduce yourself and talk about how we are using it. So, Pedro, welcome.
Hello, everyone. So, thank you for this opportunity, for giving us a chance to share our experience with APISX. That's the whole goal of this presentation. So we've been assisting these meetings like last year, the end of last year, started assisting. This was because we started using APISX as our gateway. So I've prepared here a small presentation, which I will share with you. Can you all see? Yeah? Can you all see the presentation?
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah.
Yeah. So from a piece to a puzzle, why did we choose this? It was more because we started using it isolated so we needed a solution for a problem we had, and then it became part of larger solutions, which we consider being here our puzzles, solutions, or applications. So this is just a little bit about me. I've been working in the IT sector full on since like 2007. Been doing other work since 2002 to 2007. But since then, I've been in many areas, and our last area where we have our focus on at the moment has to do with middleware. Okay, I had to show here the people who I worked with, which is Yuri, Duarte, and Gabriel. So we are a small team, but especially thanks to Yuri and Duarte, I haven't been so much self-motivated, but more motivated because of them. They have built extraordinary things, and the direction is good for the whole team regarding cloud native and the usage of API6. So I'm like light years away from Bobur's presentations, of course, but this is just a small introduction of how we started, how we got to API6. Okay, so the client had this thing that we say here. I'll show you the thing in a moment, which is like a load balancer. And the problem is, and many have already heard these kind of conversations, like that piece of software is legacy, we'll be changing it soon. We have other critical things passing by. We don't want to touch it that much. Before we just routed to one server, where that server routed to all the other servers and applications, but that doesn't exist anymore because so what do you have here for a solution? You know, so we chose not to touch the thing, and we chose to use the Apache HTTP server. Okay, so this is the horrible thing. Just go on ahead. So we built something like this, and it was all centralized, and the client was pretty happy. We applied policies, and we got the thing going. All access logs, you could see like all the sites were working fine. You can like troubleshoot sites which were not working. So the client was pretty happy. But then we got to a point where another challenge came. So this specific place, they start off with like some web services and some services communicating with each other. But sometimes they get booms of services they need to implement, and it goes a long time. So time passes by. Probably they don't organize in at the start. They don't see what the future is, and then at some point it probably gets really hard to manage. You know, the complexity when you're talking about a lot of services communicating with each other in environments. Another thing we saw was that everyone had their authentication authorization, like users and passwords sprawl everywhere, you know, hard to manage. You know, a server needed to contact three, they had 3 different ones, passwords, authentication. And so what we needed to do was find a solution pretty quick so we can like solve, I guess, 2 problems here. One was like centralization, you know, and another one was the many authentication authorizations that were everywhere in the servers, in each server. Okay, so if you like changing from F to H and you needed to change the whole environment, you do it once and you do it like well done, you know, or with some structure at least, not so unorganized. Okay. So up here, I don't know if you can see, it's how we ended up using API6. I don't know if you can see here. So there was some kind of demands or prerequisites. They needed something that was open source. They couldn't invest vendor-specific gateways. So we were looking for open source gateways. We tried like, this is like a year, more than a year ago. Okay, we tried a lot of gateways here, and our first tests were like pass through, like proxy effect. You know, goes to the gateway and goes to the backend service. The client also had another thing that he was not yet comfortable with using Kubernetes. Okay, so we needed something that we can deploy on the machine. So API 6 had this cool way of deploying it with Docker. Next, we needed to show use case A, put it in a demo environment and put it up and show that with configurations you can do like you can centralize it, so all the point-to-point connections, no more. You put something in the middle and everyone goes to that gateway, that centralized access. So that will like resolve all the point-to-point. And the other one was you only ask for a token, and on one authentication authorization service, you don't ask tokens on all of them. They can be like application tokens when API 6 talks to the web service, through the authentication. But we only have like the users in one centralized place, okay? And that would like fix all the passwords on all the users that were everywhere. And we actually managed to do that. And this was like the first plugin we used. It was forward auth. We had like 1, 2, and we were demonstrating with Keycloak. Okay, this you can see this scheme like this in the API 6 website with the OpenID Connect, but we were relaying Keycloak through API 6, just routing upstream server to API 6. Everything goes through API 6. And we could implement this. It was pretty cool because we can we have a user and a password. We ask for a token, and then we would send that token in the header field to the web service, and it would be pretty cool. It will pass, it will get validated. Simple validation, that's all we needed. Something that was robust and could validate, and something working as API 6, which did all the work. So I think this is where we saw that we're going to solve a lot of things here. If clients want to build like integration web services and stuff, we have a solution for not only upstreaming the web services and the authentication. We are able to give here some kind of solution, robust solution. So yep, forward auth was like the first key, and we were really happy about that. So yeah, the client, we suggested API 6. Client didn't want to touch the Apache HTTP service for the website, migrate it in the future, but wanted something specific with API 6 for web services. Yeah. So you might ask, okay, so we know how you ended up using it. Okay, there was certain demands you got there, but why are you using it? And well, sometimes the answer can be easy. You can just say because it works, and it's. But why? Sometimes, depending on clients or the people you talk, technical people, non-technical, management, you need to probably help them understand why you are using it. And we actually got a lot of information from this card, which we see in the landscape of CNCF, okay? And by looking at the card, I could actually get a lot of not arguments or get a lot of conversation in various areas of API 6. One of them is the conversation, things you can talk about, about the Apache Software Foundation. I, for many years, have been working in different infrastructures. I've always came across the Apache HTTP server from the Apache Software Foundation. Never let me down, so if I can say that. Yeah, so a lot of things can be said, interesting things, history, everything about the Apache Software Foundation. It's pretty cool. Other things is that at least my talk of things that I say and the reasons why, because you can say, okay, why don't you use the other gateways and implement the same thing? We know how you did it with that one. It's probably a matter of just configuration. You can end up doing it with another one that's there. So, but why? And these are the reasons that I try, because I'm happy with APISIX, to talk about. Okay, so the first commit here, robust application, community with hundreds of contributors. So this is excellent. It's around the clock. It's brilliant. One, people are going to sleep, others are waking up. Can't control it. So a lot of people working together. It's really powerful. Work on product is constantly being done. So latest commits, so people committing, doing work, new releases several times a year. Documentation and tutorials, sites full of information, communication channels. Here are some. Bob would talk to a few of them, which are Slack and mailing lists and many more. Okay, so yep, these are the reasons why we do our conversation, and we explain to friends and clients why we use it. Okay. So I'm gonna have to tell you a story, because in my presentations there are always small stories, just to break the ice. And this story is about a young man. Okay, well, once upon a time there was a man who would build like solutions and applications, and he would use pieces of puzzles, and he would join all of these. But there was a problem. There were like no straight edge pieces of the puzzle. So he'd always feel incomplete. So no matter how small, he would show someone, and someone would say, okay, man, you're missing something there, but it's complete. Or you can add more pieces. No, we don't want to add no more pieces. Okay, something's missing. And no matter how small or how big you build your solutions, that man always had that, could not see, a full, this being complete, the puzzle being complete. But that's because the pieces, they are like this, you only have these kind of pieces. So what did the person do to solve this problem? I don't know if anyone has an idea. Well, he built a frame around it. And it doesn't seem so incomplete. And then another thing interesting goes here, like if you look at this, can anyone see where the application really is? That's because if you flip it over, then you got the application. So we'll be showing a demo about this application shortly, and we invite anyone to actually do some testing while we do some configurations and actually see what things are happening. So building applications with APISIX was a game changer for us, and that's because of the OpenID Connect, which we'll be demonstrating shortly. Okay, we configured APISIX with authentication authorization external service, which was Keycloak. We configured it correctly, and then in the web service, we just printed out the header fields. So session tokens get passed by the users down to authentication authorization external service, and then 5.6 is like brilliant. You can have one call, a million calls, one person, million people. The web service, in every call, you get all the information in the header fields. That's so you get all this mechanism done. So I think this is another reason why it was this was like one huge reason why we can actually build applications so fast, you know, abstract ourselves from this, from that layer, the gateway and authorization, and just use the header fields and, you know, implement any logic. Yeah. So I don't know if I still have some time to quickly do a presentation here. Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay, so here we have API 6. I can actually share this in the chat if anyone wants to follow. They just have to put that in the hosts. This is like a solution. We have API 6, backhand in Go, web services, simple. We'll be showing. So the chat is here. Okay. So if you try to access through the IP here, you get a message for route not found. That's why. That's because API 6 has no routes. Okay. Behind the application, we got everything set. Okay. We just need to do the routes. So we got the routes here. And the first route is the application. Oh, it's not this one. It's this one. It's the application route. And if you see here, it's the main application route. And if you see here, we've got the plugin, the OpenID Connect plugin. So if you launch, if you come here and refresh it, you got the main application. Okay. So if you go now and, so the main application has OpenID Connect. OpenID Connect calls Keycloak. So we've also got here a route to Keycloak. The route to Keycloak is just a simple pass-through. Okay. We just want it to go through the gateway. Gateway is our main point of entrance. You see, this is in Kubernetes. You got the Keycloak running inside. So if we launch this one, you got Keycloak, and Keycloak is here. Refresh. We got the Keycloak. Okay. Next, we'll launch, because we have a files, a storage service behind. We'll launch another one where we have our multimedia files, and we'll be using this to demonstrate how this works. If you can see here, there's one important detail. There is no OpenID Connect here. So go back. Oops. Yeah. We'll launch this one. And if you go back and you refresh it, you've got the three. So now, if you do try to use the IP, you still can't get there. And that's because we've got a host defined. That's why I pasted in the chat. If anyone wants to like access the application, they just have to put it in their hosts file in their PC. So if I go to NetTour, further demo application, you got a problem. Oops. This is like cache and cookie. I've been testing it before. So pretty cool. It goes through API 6. API 6 has the OpenID Connect, validates. Oops, it's the first try. Let's redirect it to the login Keycloak. So in this case, we have like in this case, we have like a backend administration where you can actually like create users, okay? and you can create certain things here. So all goes through API 6. We don't want to show here the application, just the going through API 6. But for example, if you want to like do something, like add something, information, okay. If you want to add a category, like for example, if Bobo wanted to come to Portugal, to somewhere in the middle of nowhere, I could get Bobo the summer special, okay, which is a special category, okay. Okay, and you can add a lot of topics here. So I'm adding this, and can't forget it's going through API 6. Okay, so I'll just do here some upload images pretty quick. So the summer special, yep, explore here, images. Okay, we can have this one. Okay. This is like a demonstration, as I said. Unlock it all. Okay, we can have one here. Upload. Okay. And the topic, upload images, have the house. We can have here the house. Yeah. Upload. So we got all working. The thing is if you try to access, anyone tries to access the application in this, they should surely they will get redirected to the login page if you test it. I don't know if anyone is testing it, but it should be taking you to the login page. But if I go and copy the link image, and if I share it with you guys here, remember we didn't use OpenID Connect. So if you access this, you should be able to download the image. So if okay, so I don't know if you guys are trying it. You should be able to access the image. If I open here another one, and if I put the image, I get the image here. Okay, so this resource is not protected. How can we protect it? It's simple. Just add the OpenID Connect. So if we go here and you have the images, and if you add the OpenID Connect, run that. It should be protected. Okay, so if you access, try to access now. Where is it? Chat. Yeah, there it is. If we try to access this, we have a problem. And we ran into this problem and we started voting. Okay, who votes this is problem with API 6? Or is this a problem with Keycloak? Or is this a problem with MinIO? We use MinIO for the file server, for the storage service. And we debugged the situation. We found out that we are missing two special parameters here because MinIO, we didn't check MinIO. We just try to solve it in API6, because MinIO, when you're doing OpenID Connect, it relays. Remember when I said for 5 to 6, it relays a lot of information that you can use, for business logic and everything. And it also relays that information to MinIO. But MinIO was saying, nah, the header fields are too large. Metadata is too large. We can't fulfill your request. So we had to add these two here, because we didn't want, for now, information being relayed to MinIO. So we added this. Correct. We put the set user info header false and the set ID token header a false. So we reduced the metadata or the header fields. So we ran that. And then when we accessed I think I gotta get here it is. Always losing the link, sorry. Oops, let me just it downloaded it. You guys, can you guys like access it? Yeah. The resource? Something went wrong here. Let's just check. Header info. Images. Can anyone access the resource at the moment? Anyone tried? No?
No, we are unable to access it.
You are unable to access?
Yeah, previously also I was unable.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The idea here is if we create here a user, guys. Okay. I was able to access because I still had a session here. If I log out.
Yeah, you need to log out.
Yeah. Okay. We allow that. So now, if I do try to access the resource, I should get redirected to the access page. There we go. Now I don't have a user, but if I create a user, for example, for you guys to test, for example, use everyone, username everyone. I'll share the password, which is everyone also at everyone.com. Okay, I've created a user. You won't be able to see any houses, anything, but you should be. With that user, if you log in, you can download the resource now. So pretty cool. APISIX taking care of all the authentication, the authorization, and here's a pretty good example where we missed a resource and we added OpenID Connect to that resource. Okay. Yeah, so I don't think I have much time. I've extended so much. So thank you, everyone, and have a nice day. So sorry, so much time. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was really great presentation. Like even if you took time, like you explained a lot about API 6, like entire covered a lot of features, and like I think the attendees, everyone who listened to your talk, really enjoyed the talk. So yeah, thank you, Pedro. And there have been some comments in the chat. Uh, yeah, I'll let you go through it. Yeah, it was really exciting. And in the interest of time, like yeah, I'll let you follow up on the chat. So I'll ask the next presenter, Abhishek, to uh, yeah, take it over from here.
I'm dealing here with a production issue out here. There is a power failure at my place. So let me share my screen first. Okay. Today I'll be demoing the Keycloak plugin. Sorry, the OIDC plugin with Keycloak. Let me share my screen. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll be demoing how you can use Keycloak with the OIDC plugin for implementing authorization. The OIDC is all about using the OAuth 2.0. Don't know. It just delegates the handling of authorization to Keycloak and gets the information. As you can see here, I don't have slides as such, so I'll be using this blog. Let me share the link in the chat. Okay. Yeah, indeed, today is a Keycloak day. So let me get started. We can start by just getting the Keycloak container running on our system. Okay, looks like the Keycloak is already running on my system. Let me check. Yes, looks like Keycloak is already running. So let me remove the other one. Okay. So we can access the Keycloak instance by running the port 8080. You might ask how I get this on port 8080. Then you can see in this command, the port being used is 8080 here, and the admin is admin, and the password is also admin. Very strong. Let me access the admin. Okay. Okay, looks like I was already logged in. So to start, we can create a realm. Realm is like a namespace that we have in Kubernetes. It's the collection of users and services and authorizations that we need to protect. So let me name it my realm, if I can spell that right. Okay. Once the realm is created, we can switch it to, okay, it is already switched to my realm. When you get started with Keycloak, you might find the master realm is already there. We cannot use that one as it's for the protection of the Keycloak as a service. Then next we can create a user. As you can see there that there are no users present right now. Let us give it a name. Okay. Once the user is created, we can set the password for this user. Let me give the password PS. This temporary switch is about the expiration of password. Once you log in with my password, it will ask you to change the password. You can switch it off right now for this demo. Once we have set the password, we can create a client. So the client is all about the service that we want to protect. If you want to protect your API endpoint with some password, this client. So let's go and create a client. The client protocol is OIDC, as we are going to use the OIDC plugin. We click on save. So since we want it to be protected, we need to keep the access type as confidential, and the client protocol is OpenIDC Connect. Now the redirect URL will be used for authorization, as you can see here in this image. So the redirection URL that we'll be using is this one. We'll be later using this URL, a redirection URL in the plugin configuration for the route as well. So our client is also created, as you can see here, and we need the access secret for the client, which we'll be using in the configuration for the and the plugin. So you can see the example plugin configuration and the route configuration that we need with API 6. Let me copy this, paste it here, and I need to change something. That is the client secret that I just copied. That is done, and the this discovery URL is the OpenID configuration. This URL is responsible for providing the authorization points for the user trying to access our URL, that is anything /star. So if we try to access the route that starts with anything and then ends with anything, literally, okay. And this logout path, as is just in the previous demo, Pedro was showing, we can use this logout URL, logout path to end the session or invalidate the session. And as you can see here, the callback URI that we have used. Now, when using API 6 and all plugins, especially with the OIDC, you need to be very careful with the port numbers that we are using. For example, I can show you right here now. The admin API is running on 9180, but I'm using 9080, so it is giving route not found. So let me fix that. Okay, the route is created now. So let me go to anything, something. As you can, as I told you here, this will be activated for anything /star. So this should work. Okay. Let me log out. Okay, since this is not working, let me check. Am I missing something? It says port 9980. Let me check once. Client, my client, 080. Oops. Let me create another user. Okay, I think this is the error due to the realm that I'm using. As you can see here, and this is the O realm has port 9980, and so this is being redirected. Let me try to delete this one, this realm. So this should work now. My client credentials. I'm literally debugging in production. I think this should work now. Okay. Let me retry creating a client once again. My client. Okay. Navinder, do you know why this is occurring? I'm totally please. Yes.
No. Uh, I think we lost Abhishek.
Sorry.
Oh, I think your screen froze.
We can hear his voice at least.
Yeah.
But I think we can wrap it up because running out of time, probably
Okay.
we can we can maybe
Yeah.
switch questions if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, maybe we can take it offline of this meeting and then like probably like get back at it on
Yes.
Slack or like, on our other community platform. All right.
Like,
So like uh, things always go wrong, but like I think today was a great meeting. We were able to learn a lot, and thanks again to Pedro and team, and thanks to Abhishek uh, for this demo. So the next meeting will be on the first Wednesday of April. I don't know what the date is, but like we'll go through the same process. We'll be announcing it shortly, and if you have a topic that you want to discuss in the meeting, feel free to add that to the meeting minutes for the next month. If you have a user story you would like to share with others, feel free to do that as well. And if you have questions or bugs, anything, the community meeting is the place to be. So that's it. Have a great week, everyone. Bye bye.